It's been building. The frustration, the questions, the weight. I think for some time now we faced the same wall. But now I think there's a shift, a spark. I think something is coming. And if it does, this could change everything. Look, before I get into the video, you know the routine. My name's Jed. Help me out by hitting like and subscribe. I want to start this off with a question because, look, we're going to speak Eze in this video. It looks like the deal is going to happen. I'm very excited about it. But there's still a question I think that needs to be answered. Like, if Eze does come in, like I said, and it's looking more and more likely that this deal does happen, is this finally the piece to where Arsenal can break down that dreaded low block? Look, even as the most positive Arsenal fan, I think a lot of us would agree. Over the past couple of seasons, if there's one area of the pitch that Arsenal have struggled with, or one setup that Arsenal have struggled with, it probably is that mid to low block. Arsenal at times struggled to break that down. Is it because we're high possession based? Is it because we like playing these intricate little passes, and with that, if they're sitting deep, then it's very hard to unlock that door? Now, we have seen it can happen. On times it's been successful. And the way that Arsenal do play, if you're playing against a team that does set up with a low block, if you can score an early goal, then they're forced to open up and then the floodgates open and you can score more goals. But will Eze coming in be the difference if we can't unlock that door with the pass? We've seen Saka can break through, but out of that front line, consistently, it seems like Saka's probably the only one who can do that. With Gyökeres coming in, that could change. And if we bring in Eze, is that another player with that dynamic nature that can break the barrier that Arsenal seemingly struggle with for the past couple of seasons? I actually think Madueke will be another piece to this puzzle. I think a lot of people were confused with the signing of Madueke. Look, me as an Arsenal fan, I'm 100% going to get behind this player. Am I excited to see him play even? Yes. And people won't like that. People will say, oh my God, this guy is just so blindly positive. Like, I had a comment in yesterday's video that absolutely, like, it baffled me. I'm confused at how people can think in such a way. Like, this guy said to me, what did he call me? He called me a Top Gooner cult member because I made a video, like, portraying Arsenal and Arteta in a positive way. Because of that, I'm the enemy. And it's like, how do you speak to these people? Because they genuinely think if you support Arteta, you're the enemy. It's like, you support Arteta. Yes, I do. Does that make me the enemy? Yes, it does. Why? Because you support Arteta. Right, so okay, it's pre-season. The season hasn't even started yet. And because I want to support this team, back this manager in hopes that we have a good season, I'm the bad guy. Yeah. Right, do you want to go deeper into it? No, you support Arteta, so you're the bad guy. No, I get what you're saying. But can we have a conversation so I can see your point of view? No, you support Arteta, so you're the bad guy. And I'm like, it's hard at times to even speak to these kind of people because it's like they're emotionally unable to see that there's people out there who have difference of opinions. Like, they can't understand the concept of someone else possibly thinking different to them. It has to be their way of thinking, otherwise you're the bad guy. And I just thought that was absolutely fascinating. The way that, because I'm supporting the team and I want them to have a good season and I'm backing this manager and I hope we can have a good season and win silverware, because I'm that guy, I'm seen as the bad guy or the enemy. Like, it is, like I said, it's absolutely fascinating. But let's speak about Madueke and Eze. What do you think these guys can bring to this team? Are they the missing piece? Or let me know if you don't think there's a problem with Arsenal on the low block. Just let me know and say, I think people are overthinking it. I think we've got the players now to win the title, and it could be as easy as that. But in my opinion, there is a bit of a difficulty at times breaking down teams who do sit deep. Is that because we've got players like Trossard, Odegaard, who look to play those passes? Is it because we've got a player like Martinelli who will take a player on at times and maybe lacks that finishing product, maybe lacks that final end ball or the shot on target? So, yeah, maybe he can beat a player, but at the same time, he's frustrating. I understand that as well. So, Will, if you do get a player like Eze, can he, with the way that he likes to take on players when they're sitting deep, if you can't pass through, if he's able to take 2 or 3 players on, could that be the key to unlock the door on a low block? Maybe. I think Madueke will be interesting because it confused a lot of people, but at the same time, I understand the signing now. It's like, if you see this guy's dribbling stats, he is one of the highest dribblers, like some of the best stats in terms of dribbling last season in the whole of the Premier League. Some would say the best. So if you add that to your team, then you've automatically got something different. You're not just looking to pass around. You're actually having someone who can penetrate through that back line. So is Arteta's plan all along, like we're all thinking we need a specialised left winger, is Arteta just thinking you guys are seeing it wrong? I'm playing Madueke as my left winger. Some people will say that's crazy. He doesn't play that position. But I can see a world where that happens. And again, let me know if you agree with me. But look, you're going to have Gyökeres up front, right? You're going to have Madueke on the left, a left-footed player. If he can beat the player and go to the edge of the area, to the edge of the line, what's he going to want to do? He's going to want to chop back to the striker. And if Gyökeres is in them positions, he's going to create a bucket load of chances. So I can see a world in where Madueke actually starts on that left wing. It wouldn't surprise me if that happens and Gyökeres is the guy to sweep up or clean up a lot of them chances where we see a load of balls for Arsenal at times do flash across the 6-yard box because players aren't in the correct positions. Because in all respect to Havertz, he isn't an out-and-out centre forward. He isn't poaching those areas. He's got different jobs. He's got different responsibilities. And his main one isn't holding that area where you can get an easy tap in. And Gyökeres will want to do that. He's a number 9. He's a striker. He's hungry for goals. And his main focus on this, with this Arsenal team, will be to just score as many goals as possible. So like I said, I think, could this be the moment Arsenal are finally waiting for when we get a player like Eze? It could be. Like, you could have Eze in the number 10 or the number 8 as Arsenal player. We play 2 number 8s. Have him as an attacking midfielder, and maybe he can penetrate. If Odegaard's not able to break the lines with one of those clever through balls that he can play, maybe you do have Eze in that central area, and where he's being more dynamic, it opens gaps for other players to explore. That genuinely could happen. I would be excited to see what Arteta's plans are for breaking down this low block. A lot of people got frustrated in that Tottenham game. Oh, it's just exactly the same. We can't break it down. And I'm like, we don't have our first team on the pitch. You don't have all the players who are going to start the season. So if there's ever going to be moments for you to experiment in a season, I would rather it be pre-season. So you might not be looking at the finished article with Arsenal. Like, there's still going to be things that he's trying and experimenting with. Because if he goes into the season and he hasn't experimented in pre-season, they're only going to turn around and say, he had pre-season to experiment and he didn't. And now he's experimenting in the season. But because he's experimenting in pre-season, people still want to bash him. And it's like, you can't win no matter what. I think, as an Arsenal fan, the best thing to do is just get behind the team, get behind the manager. Now, that's just my thought. I'm not going to portray that on anyone else. You support Arsenal however you support Arsenal. But it seems like those types of people are quick enough to judge other Arsenal fans. They're quick enough to judge me and the people who want to support Arsenal in a positive way. But we don't judge them. We just look at them and say, right, I don't really understand you. Before the season starts, you're already on the manager's case. You're already on the player's case. And we haven't even kicked off yet in the Premier League season, and already you're trying to create this toxic atmosphere. Like, is it just as easy as these guys are wanting clicks? I don't know. Look, Declan Rice as well. I think people are starting to now turn on Declan Rice. And I'm like, is this the same Declan Rice that I've been watching? Is there moments in a game where maybe he goes missing or he doesn't do what we need him to do? It depends what Arteta's telling him to do. I thought, and let me know if I'm seeing it wrong, I thought Declan Rice has actually excelled since he's been at Arsenal. And I think the biggest compliment you can give Declan Rice is, since he's moved to Arsenal, no one's mentioning, this is over £100 million worth of players. How many times do you see that in the media? If a player gets a big money move, they are quick to point at the price tag. I haven't seen that with Declan Rice. And that is because he's been performing. Like, why are we trying to create an issue around Declan Rice? Now, if people are saying there's an issue with Declan Rice, let me know in the comment section. But I haven't seen it. Has he had performances where he's subpar and he's not been up to standard? Yes, but every single player in world football at some point in a season isn't playing at their absolute optimal. They're not playing at their 100%. They could be carrying something. They could just be having a bad game. These players are humans. Maybe they're just having a bad game. We've all done it. We've all been to work. We've all been to school. And maybe we're not at the races 100%. Maybe there's something in the back of our mind. Maybe it's just not working for us on the day. But I do not see a problem with Declan Rice in this Arsenal team whatsoever. I can't believe people are trying to create a problem with Declan Rice. Now, if you think Arsenal have got a player that maybe could play that position as good or better than Declan Rice, then we can have a conversation. But the fact people are saying, oh, you don't want to talk about Declan Rice, you know he's not good enough, and no one's big enough to have this conversation in the media or content creators. And I'm like, if there's an issue, I'm happy to talk about it. I just haven't seen an issue, and no one's come to me and said, can you speak about Declan Rice? Do you think his performances are failing? No. Declan Rice, if you look at his numbers last season, he was good. He dragged Arsenal through the Champions League against Real Madrid single-handedly. So I don't think there's a problem with Declan Rice. People who are trying to create a problem with Declan Rice, then let me know in the comment section. But personally, I haven't seen it. There's also links with Jakub Kiwior leaving Arsenal. What do I think of this? It's just, if he's a good enough player and he really backs himself, then he's going to want to get minutes elsewhere. That's just the way football works. Arsenal are now being linked with a new centre-back, and people might get frustrated with that, saying, oh my God, we need attackers, and again we're looking at defenders. And it's very simple to compute. If we lose Jakub Kiwior, you have to replace him with another player. Therefore, if there's a possibility of losing Jakub Kiwior, you have to explore options for other centre-backs. If you don't, and then Arsenal get an injury, and then we're left with less players in that centre-back position, next season, I guarantee them same people will be saying, why did we not replace Jakub Kiwior? So I will break it down for you. Jakub Kiwior might be leaving. So Arsenal are looking at new centre-backs. So if you need to help in understanding why Arsenal are looking at centre-backs instead of strikers or wingers, that's the exact reason, because we might be losing Jakub Kiwior. Let me know your thoughts on everything you've heard in this video. Like I said, please let me know if you think Eze will solve this problem, will be the solution to Arsenal unlocking these low blocks. Could Madueke help with that? That's the way I see it. But let me know your thoughts. Like I said, thanks for watching. Before you go, if you could, hit like and subscribe, and I'll speak to you all in tomorrow's video. Gooners, have a good day.